How is this year's race going so far, broadly?
Exciting. I think that's the word everybody's talking about. Of course, we've all heard we're on the southern route. We had a weather snafu. We couldn't get our Air Force into Eagle Island, which changed things up a bit. I know there was a lot of angst by the front runners because we don't normally travel that section without a food drop halfway up to in Eagle Island. But Nick Pettit's up front, and Mitch and Yor, and don't forget the three boys, Pete and Richie and Ray Reddington for sure. They're all in the hunt for this, so it's definitely not over. It's been a really exciting race.
How would you describe conditions this year compared to conditions in the past?
Calming. I think outside of the wind that we all had to deal with. I know Jeff King has mentioned about going over for his run from Don's cabin outside Ophir all the way over to Iditarod. It was pretty epic. Same thing with the boys that have been coming over, mushers from Iditarod to Shagluck. We don't normally see that. Normally you'll have winds on the Yukon or on the coast, and this year it's been on the Yukon. So when I say calming, I think it's just made the whole process a little easier. Dogs, I think, actually do better when it's warm like this, and softer trail and stuff. And really pleased with the Air Force can fly. Trail breakers are well hydrated and taken care of, and you can just feel it here in Unalakleet, which is one of our hub checkpoints, that everybody's just kind of chill.
That's what we were saying. It seems like the past couple of races, there's been some big event during the race, for better or worse, positive or negative. But this race, has there been anything?
No, not really. You know, it's just like I said. I think we were able to get outside of Eagle Island everything in place. Of course, with our Iditarod Air Force, which is a bunch of volunteer pilots, they're willing to fly whenever conditions allowed, and I think they really stepped up. As far as the change I made for Eagle Island, having to put all the food back to Grayling. But the Southern Route villagers, it was like New Year's Eve in Shagluck, Anvik, and Grayling, and everybody's rallied around the cause, and it's a good feel about it this year.
Can you talk about what mushers are going to see on the trail from here to Nome? What's next?
You know, it sounds like we've got this weather for at least another 48 hours as far as mushing weather. You know, they do have a little bit of light snow and warmer, a little mist, we'll say, more aviation affecting things up in Koyuk. But otherwise, the trail's in. It's well traveled. You know, there was a lot of concern between Shaktoolik and Koyuk if we were going to go straight across or head to along a little closer to the shore. But I just got a report this morning from Palmer Segunik, who is a fan of all things Iditarod and a veteran from this race, and he said it looks like they're going to be able to go straight across. So the locals have willows marked out. Our trail breakers are out of here in an hour. They'll head up to Shaktoolik and then mark a safe trail across to Koyuk, and then they'll be spending the night there and heading up to White Mountain from there.
So that was previously, there was talk about putting the trail, kind of making it skirt the coast more because the sea ice was out, but now it'll be what it is.
It sounds like they're traveling across there. Of course, our guys, we have trail stakes that they pick up from here to mark all the way to Shaktoolik, and then from Shaktoolik to Koyuk, we have another whole batch of hundreds of trail lap to get across there, but sounds like right now local travel's going straight across.
Can you give us any speculation about when you think this race will end in Nome, or when the first musher will get in?
I would think probably, the way it's going right now and the quality of these teams, I might be a little bit late, but probably 3:27 on Wednesday morning.
We'll check in on that prediction.
Absolutely.
One other thing I wanted to ask, mushers that we talked to said this is the deepest snow they've seen in years on the trail.
Yeah, absolutely. I flew, actually I was in McGrath yesterday morning, flew over to Unalakleet for a half hour and then went over to Caltag, going across the portage. If we're running from Caltag back, you travel 12 miles and then you start going over what they'll call the pass. And it was deep. A couple of guys I talked to had gotten off and it was right up to their necks in snow. So, and it's been just a constant little bit of snow every day. Same thing with the Yukon River, and definitely from the place of Don's cabin over by Ophir over to Iditarod, as much snow as we've seen in years.